Thank you so much, Deb, for that kind introduction. I appreciate it. I just want to take a moment just to recognize Rabbi Charlie, how the weight lifted off the shoulders, not just, I think, of your congregation, not just the Jewish community, but of the world, when you and the other hostages came out, albeit traumatized, but physically unscathed. We are so, so grateful that we didn't have to say the Kaddish. And I think ADL and my colleagues and friends at SCAN both appreciated your recognition of us. But first and foremost, I just got to say, Rabbi Charlie, we're glad you're here.
I'm pretty glad I'm here too. It means a lot. It means a lot, and I'm glad to be here.
Can you talk us a bit about the day itself and kind of how it happened, if you will? Because I think many of us saw your interview on CBS Morning News and have heard secondhand accounts. But Rabbi Charlie, I think this is your first public program, at least to the broad Jewish community of the world. Will you tell us a little bit about what happened that day?
It was a regular Shabbat morning service. I mean, I was scrambling. It was Shirat Hayam. It was the Song of the Sea.
That's right.
Our Song of Redemption.
Right.
Was the Torah portion that morning. I didn't get to chant it, unfortunately. And so we had, one person was in early to help get things organized. We had, he came in early. I'm trying to get everything set up and get everything organized. And there was a few different things that, he asked if we had a night shelter. And I said, no, we don't have a night shelter, but it was cold, Texas, it was really cold in Texas. He talked about how he had been walking. He did have a couple of bags, and I did an initial look at him. He looked like he was telling the truth. There were no initial red flags. So we opened the door. We do keep the doors locked. I opened the door for him.
But you talked to him through the glass door or through a camera or you were opening the door and speaking to him?
No, I just opened the door just a small ways. I mean, look, at that point, we had, again, 4 people in the synagogue that day. Right? We don't have a huge turnout in person at this point in time. And so yes, we opened the door for him, or I did. And I think it was either me or our member who was there. I encouraged him to let him in, and then I stayed with him. I walked him into our kitchen. I was the one who got him tea. And while I was doing that, I was talking with him. I was learning more about his story. I was trying to analyze whether or not, he was as he said he was. And again, all of the things that, the sense of nervousness, the darting around, those kinds of things that you might expect. He was calm. He was appreciative. He was able to talk with me all the way throughout, look me in the eye. And so while I was, I didn't have a lot of suspicions. And I can go on. Where do you want to go from there?
Well, I got to ask a question that I heard. So I'll share that I was at home it was Shabbat afternoon. I was with my family. We were having lunch, and I got a call from my chief of staff who said, we just got a call from the FBI. There's an unfolding hostage crisis, and apparently the hostage taker wants to speak to a leader in the Jewish community in New York. Would you be willing to speak to them, or could you help facilitate that? I mean, sure. And then we found out he wanted to speak to Angela. So everyone, I think, wants to know, what happened there?
So his first demand.
Full disclosure, we love Angela. We're big fans.
No, I'm a huge fan as well. And so Rabbi Cantor, Angela Bukdal, he mentioned her by name. Because he knew that she played guitar. He knew that, right? I don't know how or why he chose her exactly, other than the fact that he thought that she was the most influential rabbi. Not that this is going to go to Angela's head. And right. And I was thinking, this guy really believes that Jews control the world. But in that moment, he's like, you need to get Angela Buchdahl on, well, not that he was pronouncing her last name right, but you need to get her on the phone now, right? I did what I could to get her on the phone.
Now, did that surprise you when he said, I want to speak to Rabbi Angela Buchdahl?
Angela and I did talk about this when he was making this demand, and I didn't understand why. And then I understood a little bit more about what he was looking for and what he was hoping for. Like Angela and I laughed about this. I thought we were in trouble because I knew that what he didn't. I knew that Jews did not control the world. I knew that Angela was going to not know what to do in this situation either, right? But I tried to explain to him to the best of my ability that it doesn't work that way, but I was able to meet that demand. We were able to get on the phone with Rabbi Cantor Buchdahl.
Well, I just want to ask another question or two before we turn to Cheryl. So he thought Jews ruled the world. Like, what did he say when he came in? And it was we've heard how you heard the gun click. What did he actually say to you? What was he communicating, and how did that hit you and the other congregants?
He was talking about how he had a bomb, and that he wanted the area cleared, because he didn't want civilians, other people to get hurt. And so we got on with 911. He was, again, his first demand was to Rabbi Buchdahl. But when we were on with the 911 operator, that's when we first learned about his desire, right, with regard to Dr. Afia. And it was, the whole situation, like I don't remember all the details, but it was basically the notion that Jews were more important in his mind than everyone else, and that America would do more to save Jews than it would for anyone else. And that's why he specifically targeted a synagogue, right? That Protocols of the Elders of Zion type of anti-Semitism. That's why he focused on us, and that's why he and that's why we were put through that terrible ordeal.
So awful.